Hello, this is Conrad Nunez with the MHC Healthcare Podcast, where we get to know the people behind the roles here at MHC. My next guest has a bachelor's in broadcast journalism with a minor in Spanish. He has almost 10 years experience as an anchor, producer, and editor, and he is currently the Public Information Administrator for Tucson Airport Authority. Please help me welcome MHC Board Member Craig Reck.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm a little wet, but I'm all right.
Yeah, it's rainy right now.
Yes.
Rainy Friday.
You know, I thought for sure monsoon was done, but here we are.
And it's raining hard, actually. I was surprised.
Me too. Hopped off the interstate, and people were like pulled over. They had their flashers on. I was like,
the whole nine.
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah.
When I saw rain like that, I'm like, okay, it's serious now.
Yeah, but we got here.
I know, and thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you making the time. So the podcast is a little bit about getting to know you. So you're a board member, so I have lots of questions, and I want to get to know you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Let's see. I think I moved to the Tucson area probably, it would have been like 2013 maybe, something like that. So I guess I've been here long enough to be a local, but I'm definitely not a native Tucsonan by any means. When I moved here, my now wife moved out here before me, by 6 months. We were both in the same industry. We worked in TV news. And again, just like her move out here, she beat me to getting out of the news business. And then I followed. And we just enjoy the Tucson area so much. We first lived in Marana, and now we live in Tucson proper, and very happy here. And we're putting down roots.
Where are you from originally?
Originally outside Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I would kind of compare it to probably like Marana is to Tucson, as where I grew up is to Pittsburgh. Okay. If it was on a smaller scale, and instead of 10 minutes away, more like 30 minutes away.
So it's kind of the same setup. So it's far, like you moved somewhere not so different from where you're at. So
correct.
It makes the change or makes the move a little bit easier, I would assume, right?
Yes. Yeah. Moved around quite a bit after college. I lived in Ohio, then back to Pennsylvania, a little time in Mexico, North Carolina, and then just always had an affinity for Tucson. I'd never been here, but I just thought, I don't know, something about it. I just wanted to be there.
Yeah, there's something special.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say a little time in Mexico?
A little bit, yeah.
Where at?
In Merida. I studied abroad there for 3 months and then liked it so much, had to find a way to get back. And so I had an internship at a TV news station down there.
Nice.
Yeah.
How was that? How was that compared to like the TV stations here and then internationally?
The biggest change for me was I didn't realize at the time when I applied it was more of a government TV station as opposed to like an independent just working press. And I realized that after the first couple days. I thought, man, we cover a lot about the governor and all these great press conferences they do, and this is really neat. And then after a few more, I would see other journalists there, and they were asking a little more meaningful questions, and they were covering other news, and it kind of clicked, and I thought, oh. But it was a learning experience, a lot of wonderful people as well, and good reporters in their own right. It's just, they were doing one side of it.
One agenda.
Correct, yeah. And definitely a lot more, saw a couple bodies. Like, I wasn't expecting that. They were like, oh, we have a rollover crash. And I was like, oh, I've been to those before. And then we pull up and like, yeah, there it was. And I thought, is no one going to like tell us to stand back, or is no one going to, and they were like, no, yeah, we're here.
Yeah. No,
okay.
It's quite the experience, and it's unfortunately it's like that on social media too, and it's clickbait, and people click on it, and I mean it's unfortunate though if you put yourself in that position, but it's a great experience though.
Yeah,
who you are now and where your skills are at and what you do now currently, which is
yes. So right now I'm at the Tucson Airport Authority, and so when I got out of news, I still wanted to be involved in communications. I still wanted to be involved in the community. And so thankfully the airport had a position where I could kind of transition into that, help them with internal communications. So We're basically like a little city. We have a fire department, police department, finance department. We work with all these vendors, all the people coming through the terminal. So I help with the internal stuff and then the external stuff. So like social media, press releases, questions from the public. This morning before coming here, I woke up early to answer questions. A lot of people want to know about traveling in the time of COVID. Yes. What do they need? I'm sure you know it doesn't matter how much messaging you put out. You're still going to get people who find a way to contact you with their very specific question, but totally miss all of the other answers you already put out there.
It's very, flying's interesting now. I flew last month, and the whole time I was just anxious of like, are they going to ask for this? And are they going to need a vaccine card? And I mean, everybody's, you can just tell everybody's trying to act normal, but at the same time, you can tell everybody's on edge also.
Yeah, there's a lot of different reasons to be thinking about, well, do I have this? Do I need that? I mean, we started offering vaccines in the terminal twice a week. And sure enough, one of the first people when I was down there to come in was a lady who went to New York. And she said, I wasn't vaccinated. I was so excited to take this trip, and half the places I wanted to go, I couldn't get in because you had to have a vaccine card. She said, so the first thing I did was, where am I going to get a shot when I get back to Tucson? And she said she got off the plane, saw our signage, and was like, oh, well, now I don't have to stop anywhere. I'll just get it right here.
No, that's super convenient. That's a good example, too. So just moving a little bit along, because I've been wanting to ask people that do the same thing I do, and you cycle.
Yes,
so
that is something that I picked up pretty much right before the pandemic hit. So then working from home and stuff like that granted me a little extra time in the morning. Didn't have to worry about the commute or getting all dressed up. It was like I can just work from home in a t-shirt. So a buddy of mine gifted me a bike that he found on Craigslist. And it's great. It's a road bike. It's just what I need. I've only crashed like twice.
You have to.
Yes, and it's funny because the two wipeouts were actually like very recently.
Okay.
So I mean, I was trucking along. I thought I've really got this figured out. I was going several times a week, like bright and early. Go hit the loop. I love it. I can hit the loop from my house. Shout out to the loop. Like,
yes, it's great.
What an amazing.
Just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And longer and longer.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into cycling, because I've been here long enough and I thought I feel like I'm really missing out on this part of our community that people love, but I just, it's not for me. And so finally got the bike, and I love it. Sunday mornings mostly try to wake up, go on a longer ride, stop, get coffee, donut, that sort of thing, and then ride back. Signed up for El Tour.
Awesome. Congratulations. Which
for
one?
The full?
No. Okay.
And, at the time, it was like, oh, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. And we got to the point where we started practicing drafting.
Yeah.
We did the full loop, like 55 miles, and thought, you know what, we can do this. We're going to be great. And then life happens, and I think I ride maybe like once or twice a week now, and our distances are going shorter and shorter. So it's sinking in that we need to get back on it and start riding longer.
Craig. I mean, it's funny because I've been there. I started riding in 2007. I did mountain bike, and then as soon as I got onto a road bike, that was it for me. So ever since I've been riding road, but I did it a little bit different. I started with like the 55, and then I went 75, and then right before my daughter was born, I did the 100 because I figured time is gonna be of essence. Yeah. So I would leave, 5, 6, 7 hours on Sundays to ride. Yeah. And then the tour was the 17th, and then she was born a week before. So it was just like, that was it. I did the 112 miles. I got it off my bucket list.
Oh, my goodness.
So I had been there, have the colors. I broke my arm 3 years ago in a cycling accident.
Oh,
so
geez.
Yeah, it's just an interesting relationship because it's great riding, but there's also suffering in it.
Sure.
Right? Because you're riding long miles, and at some point you're like, I'm climbing. This is not fun at all. My legs burn. I'm tired.
And then you hit the downhill.
Yeah, and then it's like you forget about everything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, cycling, and you'll grow into that with the years to come. it'll be a love hate. You'll take time off. You'll be like, I need to get on it, but you can't. And yeah, it's gonna be quite an interesting ride. Nonetheless, it's great though. I mean, Tucson offers everything a cyclist would want, really.
Yeah, we just installed, I say just, but it's probably been there a few months now, a bike assembly station at the airport.
Oh, nice.
Just because we figure, people that are now traveling to Tucson and the real cyclists that bring their bikes, they want to just be able to put it together and go. And yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, I like my bike if I can just stay upright.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've fallen so many times, gotten a lot of scrapes, gotten a lot of battle wounds, but it's part of the journey though. Mm-hmm. So that's why I said you have to crash. It's kind of like I avoided it for so many years, and then a big one happened, and I'm like, well, it's part of it.
It so really
it's a
is.
Dance.
Yeah, and the first one was funny. My buddy, it was after a real bad rainstorm, and we even said we probably shouldn't ride. The loop's probably a mess, but it was his birthday, and he said, let's do it. And so we went through all this different debris. 2 different people had stopped. They were repairing tires, and he stopped at one point and said, we can't do this anymore. He said, if we get to one more rough patch, we'll just turn around. I said, great. And we didn't hit one, and we just kept going, and it was like I forgot all about the conditions until we hit this huge patch of mud, and he went through it, and he said later that as soon as he went through, he thought, oh no, he's not going to make it. And sure enough, I was just going way too fast, and I hit it, and I could feel my wheels go one way and my body go the other. But thankfully, there was so much mud, it cushioned the blow, and I just slid for about a foot.
Nice. And
he turned around, and before he said, are you okay, or what happened, he popped out his earbud, and he said, thanks for the story. That was great.
It didn't happen on his birthday, so.
Right? Yeah.
No, yeah, it's part of writing.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, yeah. I mean, thanks for sharing all that. One of the things I do is I know this podcast is a little free form and not too much structure, but when I was driving up here, I'm like, what can I ask him? And one of the questions that popped was why did you want to join the board with MHC?
Yeah, it's one of the current members reached out to me and said, I've worked with you, not directly, but in different capacities over the years. And he said, I always appreciated just your common sense and your judgment, and you seem like a pretty worthwhile person. He said, we need more people on the board. Think about it. My first response was, I don't know anything about healthcare. I said, I'm relatively healthy. I'm very fortunate, but I couldn't tell you the first thing about finance or budgets or oversight. And he said, that's fine. We know that. You're going to learn. You're going to pick it up. He said, the expectations are going to be pretty low when you first start because, we want you to feel comfortable to ask questions, to learn, to grow. And, I talked to my wife about it, and I said, I think I want to do this. And she said, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's staying involved in the community, which since I got out of news, I kind of missed that. I mean, I still have that in my work capacity, and then I've volunteered places in the past, but the board gives me, I guess, a structured way to be involved in the community. Without having the board, I could right now go out, well, maybe I'll do this for a little bit, and then I might lose interest. Or I'll go do that, and it's not a good fit for me. But the board is, I'm signed up. I am here. I'm going to serve my full term. And what's best is that I have all these other people around me. So I'm not just kind of making it up as I go. I am seeing how it operates. I'm learning. I mean, the retreat's this weekend.
Right.
I've never been to a board retreat. I might be underdressed. I might be overdressed. I might, not be very helpful in the discussion. But, man, I'm going to take notes. I'm going to absorb it all. I'm going to do what I can because, ultimately, Moran Healthcare is exciting. I came for my orientation a few weeks ago, and I've been on the board, I think, since February maybe. But because of COVID, I've just been calling in and kind of engaging from a distance. But now that I've seen this facility, I want to see all the others. It's an exciting organization to be a part of. I don't even know if that answered your question.
No, it did. I think, I mean, listening to this, I'm like, you don't give yourself enough credit. I think the foundation of being a good member is having that interest and that passion to like want to learn, because it can be intimidating at times, especially if you don't know anything about it. Like you said, like healthcare is so vast.
The acronyms alone.
Yeah.
I mean, boy, I appreciate that the new member packet has like a little section on acronyms. I was just like, I think those were my first couple questions, and then I realized I should just be looking this up on my own. But yeah, having at least some experience with just board meetings and operations was nice for me, because at least I understood kind of Robert's rules and how things happen. Because yeah, if it wasn't for sitting through city council meetings and county supervisor meetings, I'd probably be like, what is happening? Right. But yeah, no, it's great. Clint's awesome. Steve's wonderful.
Yeah, it's such a good team right now, and with everything that's going on in the world, I think having that team helps, and I think that's why we've been so successful. So I like to take this platform to thank you. I mean, you took such a big leap from where you're at and into a board member of a healthcare, but what you might not understand, or maybe you do, is you bring that experience that you've had in the past, whether you were in Pittsburgh or in Mexico or now here in Tucson. You have something to offer that other board members might have. So I think that's why it makes such a good board, because everybody brings its own piece and experience. So
absolutely.
We thank you for that.
Yeah, no, I still think I need to find a good time to shine, but I mean, even the meetings I've been in, whenever people ask a question or share something, you're right, it's stuff that I did not think about, and it's just amazing that we can all be on the same team and kind of provide those different input.
No, yeah, and at the same time, like if there's any communication, not issues, but like challenges that might come up, we have Craig. So I think that's why it makes it such a good board, because there's a business aspect, and there's like, you know what I mean? Like there's policy and procedures in it. So, I mean, I think that's great.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to bring you back. I need you to crash more on your bike. No, I'm just kidding. I want you to, after this interview, get on a bike, because you have no idea how much training you have to do before. Is it November 16th, 17th?
Oh, yeah, something like that. And then I'm going to be out of town for like a week and a half. So, yeah, my riding partner was like, hey, Sunday, we got a big day. I was like, actually, I'm going to be at this board retreat. But, I'll work some saddle time in when I can.
No, that's great. And I wish you the best of luck. Please be safe out there. And congrats, and thank you for being on the board. And hopefully we can talk again soon.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. I'll a little more casual Friday next time, too.
Yeah, please. My pole's not matching out there. Thanks, Craig.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you to our guest, Craig Reck. Don't forget to follow us on social media at MHC Healthcare.